Hi, my name's Alex, and I'm a designer here at Nileon Office Furniture in Los Angeles, California. Today, we're going to be talking about one of my recent projects, and you're going to get to see the design process all the way from start to finish, from the initial meeting, design concepts, drawings, all the way through to installation. Let's take a look. This client came to us because they had recently moved to a new office space, and it came with a weird-shaped room, as they described it. They also said that they wanted a panel system, also known as cubicles, like what I'm sitting in right now, and they needed it to match to an existing panel system that they already had. Now, once I heard about the weird-shaped room, odd measurements, color matching, I knew I had to visit in person. So I got my stuff together, and I did just that. I packed up my laser, some tape measures, graph paper, and an angle measuring tool, which you'll see the usefulness of later. I asked for photos of their existing panel system so that I could start to look for something that was as close as possible. I spoke with a senior designer here, and he suggested the Intera series by Freon for both the budget and also the available finishes, as well as lead time. I went through our Freon samples and I pulled out anything that looked like it could be close so I could compare them once I saw everything in person. Now it was just time to head out to the client. Once I arrived at the client's space, we had a quick meeting to talk about their needs. We determined that their panel system needed to include room for one large desk as well as two smaller workstations and a meeting table. Oh, and they also needed seating for every single person in the room. And they needed it quickly and on a budget, which is of course why they came to Nileon Office Furniture, because that's what we do best. So let's take a look at this weird-shaped room, shall we? As you can see, we've definitely got some interesting angles going on here, as well as this curved glass wall. You'll also notice that the existing layout doesn't quite provide enough privacy for the employees, and aesthetically it just didn't match with the rest of their space. Now you're seeing all of the drawings that I made that were based off of those measurements. Once I was certain I had everything that I needed and all my measurements were correct, it was time to head back to the showroom and start working on the floor plan. Once I got back to the showroom, it was time to start thinking about which lines of furniture would be best for this project. So thankfully, my colleague's suggestion of the Intera series for the panel system was spot on. So we stuck with that, and I was able to find an almost perfect match to their existing panel system. Next, for the 36-inch round meeting table, I went with Maverick Desk. They are a great company that makes laminate furniture out in their factory in Gardena, California. I love supporting companies that are right in our backyard, so we always go with them whenever we can. Next, for the seating, we went with a company called 9 to 5 Seating. They are local to us as well, in Hawthorne, California, right next to SpaceX. I've actually been to their factory. They have a series that's called the At Once series, and I love it because it's very simple. They have a lot of great high-quality domestic-made chairs, all in black, and they're available to ship within 24 hours. So for our specialty, which is quick ship and budget, it's perfect. At this point, I knew exactly what the customer needed, I knew which furniture lines I was going to use, and I had accurate measurements of the space. At this point, we move into CET. That's the 3D design software that we use. In there, I can create a 3D floor plan of the person's space, showing exactly how everything's going to look, and it all stays in scale. So as long as my measurements are accurate, in the software, if it fits in there, it's going to fit in real life. Let's take a look at it. We went through a couple of different iterations of this floor plan, but ultimately we settled on the design that you're seeing right now. Keeping these panels against the wall helps with cable management and outlet access, and it also keeps the center of the room open. I always like to think about the nice, easy flow in and out of a space. You don't want to have to walk around a bunch of furniture to get to your desk. This design process highlights one of the unique things about Nileon Office Furniture, and that's the fact that you're working with the same person from the moment you call until your furniture is delivered. It helps because it allows us to stay adaptable, move quickly, and make revisions a lot faster than if you were going through multiple teams. This makes it a lot smoother for our customers, and that's why we think we have an edge. Once we settled on a final design, I exported the floor plan as a series of high-quality 3D renders. This allows our clients to be able to look through and see exactly how everything's going to look once it's installed. The next step is very important though. I always mail out samples of all the materials that we're using for the project. This way the client gets to see everything in their space and they can make sure that it all looks good before we place an order. If everything looks good, I send over a version for them to sign, and then we can place the order. Let's take a look at the before photos one more time so you have an idea of where everything was when we first started. Here you can see how their existing layout was. Here we've got our 3D render of our final floor plan. Finally, here's the installation. Everything turned out exactly like the renders, which is what we always love to see, and the client was extremely happy. They went from having a space that didn't have a whole lot of privacy or utility to now everyone having their own space and a whole lot of storage. Thanks so much for watching. Again, my name's Alex with Nileon Office Furniture here at 162 North La Brea Avenue, Los Angeles, California 90036. If you want to get started on your next project with me, feel free to stop by, or you can email me at alexr@nileon.com, Nileon.com. Thanks. Have a good one.